All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are equipping you, especially if you're gearing up as an LCMS 2026 convention delegate, with the practical, everyday tools you need to navigate the convention floor. We want you doing this with absolute clarity, total confidence, and most importantly, a gospel posture. Look, whether you are a brand new first-time delegate or you've been doing this for years, the convention floor can feel pretty overwhelming. But honestly, it doesn't have to be. We're going to break down exactly how to address the chairman, how to speak to the floor, how to ask questions, and how to make motions in a way that is clear, charitable, and in good order.
So here's our game plan for today. 1. Navigating the convention floor. 2. The microphone kiosk process. 3. Our 2-minute debate framework. 4. Essential floor motion phrases. 5. Saying hard things charitably. And finally, number 6, maintaining a gospel posture. Let's get right to it.
Starting off with Section 1, navigating the convention floor, and really, the basics of stepping up to the mic. First things first, we've kind of got to reframe how we view convention mechanics. It is so easy to walk into that massive room and feel intimidated, but remember this. Convention procedure is absolutely not a game of parliamentary whack-a-mole. Seriously. It is simply a way for Christ's people to speak clearly, listen charitably, and decide faithfully. Robert's rules in the Synod Handbook, they are just tools for stewardship under his word. They are not weapons to outmaneuver your brothers and sisters. Just keeping that in your mind is a total game changer for how you approach the microphone. Now, to overcome any of those pre-speech jitters, I want you to commit this exact formula to memory. We call this the safe opening, and it is your ultimate safety net. It goes exactly like this. Mr. Chairman, your name, your district, voting delegate. I rise to, and then you state your exact purpose. That's the whole shebang. Use this every single time. Whether you're speaking in favor, speaking against, or making a complex motion, this structured opening gets you recognized properly. Oh, and pro tip, always speak directly through the chair, not across the room at another delegate. All right, moving to Section 2, the microphone kiosk process, which is basically a managed queue. You know, the new kiosk system is brilliant because it shifts floor access from an anxiety-inducing foot race to a calm, orderly queue. You just follow these 6 steps. First, register at the kiosk and pick your purpose. Are you pro, con, making a motion? Second, wait. Literally do not start speaking until the chairman actually recognizes you. Third, hit him with that safe opening we just talked about. Fourth, state your purpose in one clean sentence and then stop. Just let the chair process it. Fifth, if you're offering an amendment or substitute, you absolutely must provide the written wording to the secretary. And sixth, be brief. Your 2 minutes are going to disappear faster than coffee at a floor committee meeting. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, the 2-minute debate framework, beating the stopwatch. So how exactly do you beat that stopwatch and still make a persuasive, faithful point? Well, the golden rule is do not bring a seminary lecture to a stopwatch fight. You really need a targeted approach. We use a 5-part scaffolding that will keep your thoughts perfectly structured, germane, and concise without getting lost in the theological weeds. Let's actually run a quick delegate practice drill right now to see how this works. Imagine you're at the mic. First, your position. I rise to speak against Resolution 402. Second, your concern. My concern is the wording is simply too broad. Third, your anchor. The handbook requires more specific oversight here. Fourth, the effect. If adopted, this creates major unintended consequences for local congregations. And finally, your ask. Therefore, I urge a no vote. Boom. You just landed the plane cleanly. Position, concern, anchor, effect, ask. Hitting those 5 marks makes your speech incredibly powerful. Okay, Section 4, essential floor motion phrases. This is all about moving to action. When you want the assembly to take action, you can't just go up there and express your feelings. You need to use exact formulas. If you want to change wording, you say, I move to amend Resolution X by striking Y and inserting Z. If it needs more work, I move to refer Resolution X to Floor Committee Y for further consideration and report. Want to swap the whole thing out? I move the substitute resolution now provided to the Secretary. What if you want to pull a specific overture out of a massive bundle? You say, I move to remove Overture X from Omnibus Y and refer it to Floor Committee Z for action. Or maybe you just need to manage the clock. You can say, I move the previous question to close debate, I move to limit debate, or even I move to lay the resolution on the table. You can also postpone things to a definite time or postpone indefinitely. Knowing these exact phrases makes your intentions crystal clear. But wait, what if you don't want to debate at all? What if you just need to ask a question? Let's say you're totally confused about where we are procedurally, or you're missing a key piece of information. There is a very specific, highly orderly way to handle that too.
If you don't know the proper procedural path, you ask a parliamentary inquiry. You'd say, "Parliamentary inquiry, what motion is proper if I want this sent back to committee?" If you just need a factual answer, you use a request for information. Request for information, would the floor committee clarify whether this language requires action or merely encourages action? Now what if you think a rule is being broken? You say, "Point of order. I believe the pending amendment is not germane to the resolution." You've also got tools to divide the question if a motion has distinct parts, request a counted vote or division if a voice vote sounds too close to call, or even appeal the decision of the chair. You can withdraw your own motion or call for the orders of the day if the schedule is off track. Having these tools in your back pocket means you can navigate literally any scenario the floor throws at you.
All right, moving to Section 5, saying hard things charitably, attacking problems, not people. Look, inevitably, we are going to disagree on the convention floor. That's just a fact. But you need to speak pastorally and persuasively to the delegation. You can absolutely address real, serious concerns, even overreach, while still honoring the delegates, honoring the committee, and maintaining the bond of peace. The trick is to attack the problems in the wording, never the people or their motives.
So let's talk about some better ways to say hard things. Instead of saying, "This is a terrible idea," or "The committee is wrong," we need to replace that factional, emotional language with clear, rule-abiding alternatives. Try saying, "The concern is real, but the wording is too broad," or "This preserves the doctrine while removing overreach." How about, "Let us not bind consciences where Christ has left freedom"? Honestly, the issue on the floor is almost never whether we care about doctrine or mission. We all do. The question is simply whether this specific wording is faithful, clear, and useful. And that brings us to our final section, Section 6, maintaining a gospel posture, because Christ is Lord of the queue. We've covered all the mechanics, the scripts, the timers, all of it, but we absolutely must anchor this entire process in a spiritual reality. A true gospel posture means accepting the assembly's vote with charity. The convention floor is not the church's throne room, folks. Christ is on the throne. Faithfulness isn't measured solely by whether you win a floor vote. The risen Christ is Lord even over the microphone queue, and he is Lord even when the tally screen doesn't go the way you hoped. Because Christ is risen, you can step up and speak clearly without fear. You can listen humbly without panic, and you can serve the Synod without ever needing to treat parliamentary procedure as a weapon. Motions, amendments, referrals, they are just tools for stewardship. Everything we do with that microphone should serve the confession of Christ, the care of his church, and the sending of his people out into the harvest. So as we wrap up, I leave you with this final, provocative question to reflect on before you ever step up to that kiosk. Are you stepping to the microphone to serve the harvest, or are you just trying to fight over the bylaws? As you prepare your motions and your speeches, keep that question front and center. Print out a one-page quick reference summary with your safe opening, your top phrases, and your 2-minute debate frame. Stick to your scripts. Keep that gospel posture, and I guarantee you will serve the church faithfully and effectively. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and God's richest blessings on your preparations for the convention.